We did 20 years archery, elk hunting, the horses in Colorado. So we'd literally be having a big burger in the fire, 11,000 feet, elk bugling at night.
Are you a precursor to the Juicy Lucy in the cities?
I'm a hillbilly. I don't go to the city very often.
Welcome to Created Creative. I'm Dawn.
And I'm Ruth.
I'm thinking about containerizing in boxes.
You're in the process of things there, looks like.
So we get an art subscription that has educational crafts. And we get this toy subscription, which it sounds excessive, but we truly don't have much else. Like when you walk in here, there's a couple kids have been like, where are all the toys? I'm like, she plays with these.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very good toys, sort of the buy less but better.
Mm-hmm.
But they both came on the same day, which has never happened. So now it's all this new stuff. And where does it go? And where are the pieces? And it just creates an uproar because, of course, it's sensory overload. I mean, I hid some of it for a slow rollout, but mostly it's just like so many new things. She's popping around the room.
I have sensory overload here because I'm painting my dining room.
With a smell. I mean, that's another sense.
Yeah, although it isn't too bad. I think that they try to make the paint low odor. Like I haven't noticed that the scent isn't overpowering. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, but then now it's almost time to pack the consecrate. So I've been putting away the paint.
Because it's the same room.
Yeah. Oh, and I had to take down shelves in the dining room so I could paint. And I was wielding power tools. So that made me think about our guest for today because he has built all sorts of things.
He is someone who both built his box, his house, and does not fit in a box.
Very true. Yeah, he's someone who knows how to fix things, knows how to build things. And if he doesn't know how, he'll figure it out.
And you met him at yoga.
Yes, he is a fellow yogi.
I think we all have aspects of our lives that someone meets us and then they find out something else about us and it doesn't fit the box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he's like 27 boxes that I've never heard of except yoga.
Yes, it was fun having the conversation with the both of you and the things that he was talking about that you hadn't heard of before, because it's hard to find things that you aren't familiar with. But there were
backwoodsmen are things I'm not familiar with.
Yes, we found a category.
Yeah.
So as far as creative people, this is kind of a different interview, but I know that our guests will enjoy listening to Matt.
Enjoy.
Matt, we're so glad that you could be with us. Would you mind taking a moment to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Absolutely. I'm Matt. Grew up in rural Minnesota. I was third generation on the family farm, and then my kids now are fourth generation. Growing up, every season was different, and that's where a lot of the stuff that we'll even talk about today, it comes from. Spring was always mushroom picking and fishing, and then farming, and wintertime was trapping and school. But I don't know which one was priority sometimes. So yeah, I grew up there on the farm, and I have a great mom and dad. Dad's one of the hardest working people ever, and my mom is just sweet as pie. Very fortunate there.
Yeah.
I don't think I know mushrooms grow in rural Minnesota.
Oh yeah, different kinds even, different times a year.
I need to learn more. What were you, what's like the major thing you're picking?
Morels.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look them up even. And if you have to buy them, they are like extremely expensive.
But you just picked them.
Oh, a lot. On a good year, we might even, between me, my dad, and my brother, 10 to 15 gallons.
Okay.
And they're not very big. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't even get to pick them anymore because I got 4 kids.
Right.
So I just stop and I'm like, look over here kind of, and then stop them from stepping on half of them sometimes.
Right.
But they're getting really good at it. So it's fun there too. And then we also have chicken of the woods too. So sulfur ledges.
Okay.
I was just going to ask about the chicken of the woods thing.
Oh, sure.
People love that. I've never tried it, but like, where did you say you find that?
So morel mushrooms, you can find them pretty much anywhere, but generally it's in stands of regeneration popple that's around the age of, I'm not a forester, but just around 20 to 25 years old probably.
Is morel the same as chicken of the woods?
No, completely different growth patterns, flavors.
Okay.
Yeah, the morels are little, and there's false morels too, so you have to know what you're picking. Some are only mildly poisonous, so you can eat those.
Your kids know which.
Well, no, but Dad does.
Yeah, you're with them.
And they're learning. They're like, oh, that's a bad one, because if they have an umbrella, they're bad.
Oh, okay.
And if they're hooked, they're good. Is one of the ways to look at it. You still need to know what you're doing too.
We're 3 minutes in, and every single thing has been completely new information for me.
Oh, really? Well, this is just the way we don't have television channels.
I can't even imagine what half an hour. It's like
Yeah.
10 times as much new information.
I know. I told Ruth to try to keep me on like a topic if she wants me to stay there, because otherwise I'm just going to go all over.
So you
Yeah.
said chicken of the sea? What'd you say?
Chicken of the woods.
Chicken of the
Yep.
woods. Okay, what does that phrase mean?
It tastes like chicken.
But it's a
It's a-
mushroom.
It's a mushroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Or
that's
like
the
a fungus.
consistency of
Okay.
a mushroom. And don't get me wrong, to get like a chicken flavor into it, you'd almost have to like add a little bouillon or seasoning, saute with vegetables. But then sure enough, it comes out to where it really is very similar to chicken. And it's called a sulfur ledge.
Oh, like the real name.
Yeah, but its nickname is the chicken of the woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's orangish, whitish, and it grows on dead hardwoods.
Oh,
And that's later in the year. The morels basically come right when the woods explodes with growth. So when the leaves and everything pop, that's when the morels are like, you got a week to pick. That they're really good.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And okay, so this might give our listeners a glimpse as to why I thought Matt would be an interesting person for us to talk to, because he's a fount of knowledge about a lot of different things. And I've said that he's almost like he's came from a different era.
yeah.
Because
Yeah. But I do like flushable toilets.
Yeah. You can
Yes.
have your modern convenience and also know the things that your grandparents knew.
And it'll all get so lost if we don't keep the tradition going with all of these different things. And it comes with stewardship too, of course. So I'm not going to tell you where I pick.
Right, because then I might overpick.
No, and it's just, I'm kidding. But it's tough. And once your eye gets trained, it's amazing. Like I just cruise through the woods at a fast pace, and all of a sudden it's only from doing it and muscle memory. Stop and be like right there. And like I'll take friends and they're like, it's 30 yards away. How do you even see what? And
You too?
Yeah.
So, okay, that's spring.
yeah, I guess I
And-
could give a little bit more background too. So we grew up,
Yeah.
we'd spring, we'd be picking mushrooms. And then later that would transition to we got to get all the crops in around that same time too. We'd have some row crops. We're pretty small time. We had cattle. So we'd have to get the crops in. And then obviously like midnight fishing opener. For some reason, we always try to be out there at midnight.
You'd want to go right at midnight,
Yeah, I can't keep that tradition going. I'm just too busy right now.
which for those who are elsewhere is approximately Mother's Day.
Yep.
Just the people who are tracking through the year who are not in the Midwest
Yeah.
don't know that.
In some years, you'd be snowing. I mean, Minnesota is so much different. Some years it's nice.
Okay, so we're up to the second week of May, and then what's happening to your land?
So all the crops are coming up. So then we would have to do some control, like especially with like corn. Our grains, we would never have to actually do any, like spraying. But with corn, it's just, and we did switch actually to non-GMO for a while and do the traditional route with that to try to produce better. But it's just tough. But anyway, we've even tried both there. So you'd have to do your management and get your fertilizers down too for your alfalfa and grass crops. And then you still had a job to go to.
So, yeah, you're a farmer who it's a small enough crop that you have another job.
Yes, might be altogether 80 acres tillable.
Okay.
So honestly, it doesn't make money. It's just a good
It's fun.
tradition to keep alive and a good way to raise kids because they come out with a strong work ethic and they don't expect anything.
They know how to grow. I mean, they could live off the grid. They have the skills.
Yeah, flushable toilet's still nice, but
Right, but if necessary. Okay, so then you grow through the summer, and then what's the next big move?
yeah. Well, then we do boundary waters too.
Okay.
Boundary waters during the summer. So we spent so much time northeastern Minnesota, boundary waters canoe area.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this vast wilderness full of lakes and portages like the old voyageurs used to do. And so we went and did tons of exploring up there. Mainly my dad started me into that. And then later, me and different friends covered most of it, or a lot of it.
Wow.
We'd even do spring, summer, fall hunting, and then winter camping. To where we even had a night that we slept out. The 2 nights that were the coldest I ever slept out was 38 below zero, like 5 miles in.
Into the boundary waters.
Yeah, I know. I don't feel like doing it now. It seems like.
So you're not portaging canoes because the lakes are frozen if it's 38 below.
No, in the winter, you're just trucking. And then we got awesome sleds from an outfit in like the UP of Michigan. Or no, it's by Duluth somewhere. And they make these sleds that are like 12 feet long out of this hard plastic
Yeah.
to where you can load them heavy and they pull like a dream.
And for
Yeah,
those listening, boundary waters, you generally cannot use engines.
No engines.
Just for people are clear that you are pulling this thing.
Yep, and you're drilling holes with hand augers. I found some really awesome ones out of Finland. Worked phenomenal, and
Of course.
yeah, a little Finnish background, I guess, too. Anyway, coming back, I grew up on the farm, and we can get back to the time for things too, but we did tables, did the restaurant thing when I was still in school. Then I was a biology major, and then I did wildland fire at that time too. And I did that for about 7 to 8 years up to a hot shot type 1 crew I was on for a season. 880 hours of overtime in one summer.
Whoa.
Oh my word.
Yeah, it was like 9 different states, 2 different countries that I did wildland fire in. So that was a fun time too. And then transitioned into healthcare, and I've been doing paramedicine for quite some time too.
Let's talk a little bit about the house that you currently live in that you built with your own 2 hands.
Yeah, and it didn't even kill me.
How much did you know about building houses before you built your own house?
There again, my dad was probably the number one driver of that. He wanted a house, and we had trees, and he goes, let's build a log house. So we built the log sauna first.
Because you're Finnish.
Yeah, it turned into a seed shed. Never did put a stove in it. but
Okay.
It still came out all right.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, so my dad did it, and then my brother did it, and then I started mine. Each one took a substantial time.
Like years?
Mine's I've technically probably still not quite done. It's livable. And it's still pretty nice. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's like, holy cow. But yeah, around 8 years, from cutting trees to peeling trees to milling trees to making all the material, roof system, tongue and groove. I didn't plane it. I would cut it in the right size, and then I would sticker it, put it in the shed to dry down to a certain place. And then I would bring it because I didn't want to take a loan out. So I was doing everything. My labor was what I could save.
And a lot of this, you just figure it out as you go, right?
It's so stressful to do. I'll give you that. But at least we do have the internet now.
Right.
So really anything that we want to learn, it's just effort. And then you have to realize if you're doing it for the first time, it's going to take you 3 times longer than the person that does it every day.
But at least your dad and your brother had done it.
Yeah. And there was some sketchy times. Like one time I was cutting this old growth white pine that was on the farm. So great big old growth white pine, and I was tripping it down. I'm pretty good at running saw, and it took a much smaller tree that was very tall as well, because a lot of times if there's competition, they'll grow real tall, skinny, and it pulled it over like a giant trebuchet, or I don't know, bent way over, and then when it released, broke a bunch of those branches off because the tree had hooked it enough that it was going to pull it down, but it didn't break. It got the spring loose. And I still remember, I seen it happening, and I took my 45 escape, and I was getting out of the way. But when it broke those branches off, you're talking pretty good sized branches. So you was basically getting like all this shrapnel. And sure enough, one hit me right below the head and the back and just drove me into the ground.
Oh my gosh.
But no concussion?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't go in.
I almost thought you'd say, I don't know.
Didn't knock me out.
I'm still alive.
Well, the paramedics or people in healthcare don't like going in.
Yeah. You would know something terrible was happening.
Yeah. But that does remind me, I did have a wild Mustang too that gave me a concussion out west elk hunting. But
Oh man.
he was a cool horse. He was really rounded up in Nevada with a helicopter. We got him when he was fresh out, and we couldn't lose him. He couldn't die for the first year. Otherwise, they'd send a helicopter out to round him back up, but you'd have to pay the bill. And he was a great horse, stubborn, but I suppose he got that from me.
So you built your house, and you also are a furrier. You want to tell us a little bit about learning that?
Yeah, so I guess we could skip over that fall section, kind of go into the winters growing up too. It was all under the ice beaver trapping, so we'd wait till their hair got really nice. So they get full guard hair, full under hair, and you do have to be a little concerned about ice damage. So if they freeze in, you make sure you try to keep that ice hooked to the animal actually until we could thaw them off later so the ice didn't pull any hair out. So you're getting pristine pelts is essentially what you're trying to do. So anyway, from about end of December through February, maybe into March, depending upon the year, we would trap a lot of animals and then skin, flesh, and dry, which is very labor intensive. And then for that, we'd pick through, and we had so many pelts too that out of every 100, you might get one that's a blonde. So it literally would have blonde hair.
Okay.
And then you might have one that would be jet black, because there is color phase actually to the beaver
Okay.
that not many people know. And then we'd keep some reds and browns too that had really nice pelts. So we picked those out and then we'd send those up to Canada for quite some time. But then they shut that tannery down. And now we send it up through an outfit out of Duluth that I think they end up actually out east is the last tannery that is in the States.
We only have one tannery left in this whole country.
I'm no expert and I'm sure there's smaller operations, but as an actual like industrial sized tannery, yeah, honestly, fur has been vilified pretty heavy, even though in my opinion, it's a pretty good renewable resource harvested ethically.
It's just so funny. The
Yeah.
Vanderbilt fortune was built on beaver pelt.
Oh, there was so much money.
Yeah, I mean, they still do, even all these generations later. And now it's gone
But the whole reason America was even founded,
for the resource.
actually, the fur pelts for the hat, the Hudson Bay Fur Company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where actually most of the Minnesota influence, in my opinion, so much of that came around to the Hudson Bay. We're not that far really from the Hudson Bay if you go up the Red River. So essentially all of the earliest inhabitants and people that were coming and trading goods and what have you as well, basically came from the north. And you wouldn't think that because it's pretty cold up there too. And now they're honestly fur isn't worth very much at all.
You're doing it because it's fun.
Tradition. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you teach your kids how to do it?
We have pelts right now waiting to come back from the tannery. That was on our Christmas card last year, actually, is us out trapping. And then we got some really nice blankets, which is what you call a nice pelt. They call them like a blanket size. And really nice hair, no damage, etc. No bite marks, because sometimes they bite each other so much too that when you actually flesh them, you'll hit those bite marks and it'll give bad spots or a rip. So yeah, we actually have a couple coming back. And then my daughter just the other day asked if she could be the one to start learning too.
How old is she?
10.
Okay. I'm just wondering when people become interested in such things. 10.
Yeah, and she's been riding horse since she's been 2. Well, most of my kids have. So that's another fun tidbit that we do.
Could you also talk a little bit about, you had built this whole glamping retreat.
Yeah, back before it was even popular.
Yeah.
Or it just was becoming popular, I guess I should say.
You're a trendsetter.
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun to try new things.
Yeah, just tell us about the idea and how you brought it about.
So it actually stems back from trapping. So this vast area up north of where I live is basically lots of tax forfeited land. It's the big public land that we actually run around on a lot. Don't get me wrong, there's state sections and other things mixed in, but a lot of it's like tax forfeited or what have you. So trapping wise, we trap from east of the or it's probably about 20 miles, 30 miles wide by 10, 15 miles north and south. So basically we had all the ponds, all the little lakes, all those different ones. And we trap one side one year, then we give them a year off. We trap the other side so they could repopulate. And then we were managing that way during that time. And anyway, so I had always liked this little lake, and I had even been on this lake when I was young trapping. And it was just one of those ones that was extremely difficult to get to and not on any beaten paths and whatnot. And later I found that there was a potlatch section that was on it. And I watched it and it went for sale. And no kidding, if I didn't miss it. And I don't know if I could have afforded it at the time anyway. So I even wrote the gentleman a letter, just, hey, if you ever are interested, this is my contact information, to sell. And then I watched Zillow for 7 years. And I'd watch Zillow, I'd watch Realtor, I'd watch all the sites. Every time I'd go around looking at different properties, I always just scan over that. Not like a total creep. I'm just kind of keeping an eye out.
I feel like it's a hobby of some people to look at Zillow.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun.
Yeah.
So then it did come for sale, and no kidding, if I was able to just call him, and it all worked out great. He was a really nice gentleman. He actually had kids about the same age that I did when I bought it. He was moving out of state and stuff, so it happened to really work out. And then to look at it as, it's not like I'm just buying it as an investment. It's like, okay, how can I put this to work for our family? And at the time, too, the ex-wife was a stay-at-home mom. So there was extra hands, too, to help out, like to help clean, stuff like that.
For the glamping.
Yep. So then I got the idea. I looked into it. I had some friends, too, that said, hey, this is the next trend. And I was like, okay, sweet. So I bought a dozer, and then I had a backhoe, and I got all my equipment delivered in May, and there was no roads, there was nothing. And the first guest stayed there, and I had to put in a bathhouse, hot shower, outside vanity, flushable toilet, septic system, just a holding tank. Yeah. It would have had to be like a mound. But anyway, the county was great to work with. And then I put in 28 by 20 platforms. So you're on a deck.
Hmm.
And then I had to get all the tents, all the furnishings and what have you. And then I had
Yeah.
to get the online presence going. And I was still working as a paramedic. And I still had cattle on the
Right.
farm. And our first guest stayed, I think, the 29th of August. So end of May, after road
That's-
restrictions.
Oh my gosh, that's so much.
Yeah.
And that's putting in a road. That's yeah. And I had the bathhouse a little bit framed up. I did bring that up and then I had to refoot it in and finish it.
I'm painting my dining room right now and I get overwhelmed by that.
By one wall.
But okay, so I am gonna say though too, like I definitely have bit way too much off at times. I was building that house at this time too. I took the summer off from the house build to start the glamping retreat.
Nice. So it could start up anytime, right? It's there. It works.
It's still there. I'm having to deal with a lot of things in the last few years. Holy cow.
Seriously, when the zombie apocalypse comes, I'm coming to your house because I feel like you can just take care of everything.
And luckily we're in a pretty good community too in our area. Lots of country folks and just not that other people are different either, but it's just a lot of good people around our area too. So we're fortunate.
It does seem like you're connected really well with your community to like, if you can't figure something out, you know somebody who can.
That's the best way to put it. I know a guy or gal.
That's
Yeah.
the way the world
Okay.
runs, right?
Yeah, even building the house, most of that stuff I researched online, but I did have to touch base with a friend, and then his friend was good at roof systems and log roof systems, and he had done some very expensive giant operations, big multi-million dollar stuff. And anyway, he was happy to swing by one day and just take a peek at the place and be like, yeah, no, you're fine if you're at this pitch with this span because it's such a unique item too. No one else would say it's okay because if you looked at conventional methods, it wasn't okay. If I had an actual normal person come out there like that roof doesn't meet code, not that we have codes, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where are codes? Are they
You-
only in city limits? I don't even know that.
we have septic codes and electric.
But not building codes.
No, you could build whatever you want for the most part.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I've
nice.
been places that I'm like, this is not code, but I don't know. Like you just are like, the stairs are not at the height I would expect. Things like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, for sure. So anyway, on the Glamping Retreat too, we got over 100 5-star reviews. What was it, 2 years?
Of course.
Wow.
I want to come.
It was so nice. The lake's really deep, so it takes a little while to warm up, but you can actually see your feet. It's crystal clear. It's like when you're swimming around. Honestly, it has like close to 20-foot clarity.
Wow. I don't know. I think you need to host a retreat for Dawn and I to come and
I was already kicking around the idea of having just friends out and what have you from the studio. And there was already some instructors that volunteered that they're like, count me in if you need an instructor.
How many tents? How many people are we talking?
I don't know if I'd even put the tents up, but we could always do other things, what have you. And that's the thing I have to dance too, because I'm not restarting the business. So I just want to make sure it'd just be free. So there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to have it.
yeah.
I love knowing there's a hunting, camping person that's a yoga regular.
Yeah.
I'm not very good.
Yoga's not a competitive sport. You're either doing it or not. It's a yes and no question.
I think I make it competitive. Sorry.
Oh, you've decided it's a competitive sport.
Well, there's other people in there like Ruth too. There's everyone in there is crushing. It's honestly so amazing to see so many people be inspirational to one another without even having to talk.
It's a
The
community.
energy. How does yoga
Yeah.
teach you anything about the rest of the physical parts of your relationship with the land?
To tie that to land, I'm not sure. I guess basically is we can do so much. And don't get me wrong, that retreat was beautiful the way God made it. I just made it accessible, made it to where we had some nights so we can enjoy our selfish nature too of wanting to hot shower and bathroom and stuff like that. But I guess I would boil it back to all the different self work we do. Why do we think that we have to do all of this work, especially me and my downfalls? Why do we think we have to create such a legacy? Why do we have to do so much when we just sacrifice ourselves?
In making the legacy.
100%. I didn't take time for myself. I worked from sun up to sundown. And don't get me wrong, I still tried to do some fun things with the kids, but most of the time they were just running around with the ex-wife, going to different friends groups and what have you. And that's great. I'm glad they were able to do that at that time. But anything we have in this world can be taken and it can be given back, which I'm hoping for. But we should always make sure that we do all that work for ourselves. And that self-work is huge. And I'm still on the journey of trying to figure out this experience. If you've ever listened to Alan Watts.
I haven't. Tell me Alan Watts' wisdom.
So the example is this is just an experience. And don't get me wrong, we do have free will. But when we think we can control, that's just the ego. You can feel anger and then let it go. But if you become an angry person, then your ego's in control. You can feel joy, but if you think you're just a joyful person because of it, then your ego's in control again. And he's way smarter and gets way deeper, but that's the general thesis to where when you're having challenging times, you just realize it's an experience.
So at this point in your life, so let's see, is your 10-year-old your oldest?
Yep, right now it's 10, 7, 5, and 3.
So
Okay.
fun.
And then I have them 50-50.
Oh, nice.
Week on, week off.
Don has a 3-year-old as
Oh,
well.
cute. It's nice too. They're on the farm. They get to, I mean, whatever. There's a pile of sticks by my front door every day, you
And
know,
they're just playing.
because boys
Yeah.
are boys. And
I think about
Yeah.
that a lot of
Yeah.
like on a farm, they would not be this
No.
watched. So I'm sure she's
yeah, or even the oldest too now. It's if you guys can get the saddles on, I don't care if you're right in the pasture.
you know where they are. They're in the pasture.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can't go out running around.
Yeah.
But if you're in the pasture, I don't care, stay in the pasture. And when I was a kid, I couldn't even push in the clutch to the tractor. It didn't even have brakes. So my dad would jump on, he'd put it into gear, and I was just raking it, you know. But sure enough, then he'd be like, okay, I idle it up. If you have trouble, just you flip the switch so it shuts off. So you'd be out there for like an hour thinking he forgot about you. But the last round, he would always come out on a little four-wheeler or something, and you'd idle it down, he'd jump on, and then go put it away.
But then kids have a sense of agency and responsibility and purpose.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mhm.
And you have to smash your hand to know that hurts. In my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm not lying.
So at this point in your life, with everything that you've done so far and all that you've already learned and accomplished and made, I'm wondering, is there something that you haven't built or figured out yet that you would still like to?
Oh, all kinds. There is so much opportunity, and we only scratched the surface of what I thought of at the moment. I mean, I had my own plane for a while. It was so fun to learn to fly. We had some calves get some severe injuries that you never thought you could doctor up, like open tib fractures.
Oh, wow.
So that means like the lower leg bone through the skin, both bones, and then covered in poop because they're out in a cattle pasture.
Right.
But we're friends with some vets and stuff too. And they basically told us, what's the calf worth?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want us to come out there and spend thousands of dollars to try to fix something that's worth $500? It's up to you. We will. But she goes, hey, clean it, irrigate it, reset it. She said, cut a piece of PVC pipe in half, the white pipe for septics.
Uh-huh.
So we just had a piece in the garage, cut it in half with the chainsaw, and then we threw the calf down, tied the other 3 legs together, and got the other leg clean, reset it, and then put bulky dressings below and above the fracture. After we got it put back together, smeared it with Neosporin after we cleaned it extremely well. A little antibacterial soap and warm water. And then got it all reset. Got that PVC pipe over top to splint that to keep it together, and then duct taped it. And then every day for the first week, we had to do that again.
Uh-huh.
And then the calf started feeling really good. Okay, I got a peg leg and everything's good. Kicked the gate, rebusted the leg.
Oh, jeez.
Long story short, after a month, you couldn't tell which one had broke its leg. So how amazing that God made us and the animals to be able to heal so well.
Yeah.
Oh, then man, and that just reminded me too. You were there, Ruth, weren't you, when I came in, not last summer, but the summer before after I rolled the horse on a run?
Yeah.
And she fell down and my leg.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I was just going to bring up how the healing from that heat is so amazing that I never thought it would do that. It was
Yeah.
incredible
Yeah.
how fast, within a week, it actually basically healed my leg that I could have easily got like a fractured femur from. I don't think it was.
when you roll a horse, are you going head first or sideways?
Basically, I ran her too hard. It's my fault. She was a little bit older horse, and the younger one bites you. He was a jerk. He'd buck you off. I was just like, I'll ride the one that is easier. Turns out it was the wrong one. And we'd done this quite a few nights. I'd run 3 miles, I'd bike 6 miles, and then I'd take the horse for a 4 or 5 mile run. And we were coming back home across the field, and she hit a gopher hole. She went over and came down on her left shoulder, right where my leg is, on the stirrup. And yeah, it was a tough deal. That was the first time I never got back on. I let her back.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if either of us were injured.
So as we kind of winding down here, what's your latest project, or do you have a project you're thinking about starting sometime soon?
Myself.
Oh, you
Nice.
are the project.
Mhm.
I love
Well,
that.
yeah, and I have been for a few years now. But what better project? And I don't think some people ever do.
I think you're
Mhm.
correct. Yes.
which is sad. And I did basically pointing at myself even as, why didn't you prioritize yourself?
So you feel like you're in such a different season of life, it sounds like now, much more introspective.
I think that'd be a fair thing to say. And it's a challenging time too, of course. You're trying to make sure that the kids are getting the best opportunity to. So I could say, as the kids get older here, I need to somehow come up with enough money to buy a plane so they can get a pilot's license if they want to before they're 18.
Ah,
It's stuff like that, just to inspire them and show them too that anything is possible, and to overcome fear is such a good thing.
Yes.
Because we all get
Yeah.
held back so much by, and it doesn't even matter. It could be a sculpt class. You don't think that means it's fearful too. You think you're gonna die? It's 100 degrees, and you're like we literally, I literally put a class on. I'm like, because I might pass out. I'm like, do you instructors want me to come in and teach what you should do if I go down? So they were all great
Yeah.
about that too. But
It's comforting to have a paramedic in the class and some of those
like that intense.
but I'm the one laying over by my water bottle, probably kind of
yeah.
worthless.
Yeah, how are we going to help if the paramedic goes down? Then we're in big trouble.
Yeah, I trust though. No, most of those instructors are pretty awesome. They drag us out, bring
Yeah.
us back to life if we need to.
I'll pray for you.
Yeah.
I can do that.
That was one nice thing we did the other day too, and I want to do more of that. Is just at church, there was another individual that just needed a hand filling the woodshed. So we as a church popped over there one morning and just filled his wood. Not even completely full, but we all worked for 3-4 hours there and cut and split and helped the
Yeah.
individual out. And man, that's enjoyable. Just to do
Mm.
things that you're not trying to get anything out.
You're there to serve.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what else in the future. I'm gonna have to make some different moves and what have you. But who knows? If we're not doing the direction we're supposed to be doing, that's the tough part too, is when you run into difficulty, are you supposed to do a course correction? Are you supposed to change? Are you supposed to not do that job? Or are you supposed to go through it?
That's always the question. Do you care enough
Yeah.
about it to push through this obstacle? Or maybe it is a legitimate, this is not the right direction.
And I think God definitely, sometimes he's just going to destroy it. It don't matter. And you're going to have to go through it because it's an experience that you have to go through. But then
Right.
from that, how much growth do you experience? Lots of growth.
Right. Everything is something we can learn from, for sure.
Yeah.
Would you have any words of wisdom for someone who is beginning a project, but they don't know the direction to go, or they
Don't actually know how to build a house.
Oh, look, even all the different things I touched on and what have you, a lot of times it's met with resentment because it's like, oh, must be nice. And that's such a limiting factor to have that mindset. And if you have that mindset, you are going to basically keep yourself locked in your own prison of failure or whatever you want to call it. I always used to say positive thoughts, positive results. And then obviously it comes with not giving.
Yeah.
I started cutting trees in 2015. I didn't want to admit this because it takes so long sometimes. And I built a very big house, way too big, attached garage. I don't know how many square feet, great room, fireplace. So hard to clean though. So Ruth, if you're ever interested, I'll cook you lunch. You can come help me clean for an afternoon.
You don't want me cleaning. The only job I ever got fired from was my first job, and it was a cleaning
Cleaning?
job. So I'm not your
Sure.
girl.
That's what she's.
I think you
But
have
I'm
this sense that you're willing to try. You have more of an adventurous spirit. You're willing
Oh,
to
that's-
try and you're totally fine failing and then learning
Yeah.
and moving. And some people are terrified of the failure and you are not.
That is such a great point. And that brings me back to every sculpt class, especially on Fridays at noon. You know that one. And I come out and I'm like, every one of these takes me to failure. And then I go, but without failure, there's never growth.
Right. That's how you get
Yeah.
stronger.
And they're not failures unless you quit. Then
Right.
Exactly.
there's different people out there that always say they're setbacks. All there are setbacks. How
But-
about even cooking? You can cook amazing prime rib actually in tinfoil. Just throw it in a fire. And then my dad even invented the big burger years and years ago. Great big burger, and on the inside would be morel mushrooms and butter sauce, and then different kinds of white cheeses. So it was like a giant mushroom and Swiss from the woods
Wow.
and from the farm.
Yeah.
And then we packed that up elk hunting on the. We did 20 years archery elk hunting. The horses in Colorado. So we packed that up, and you'd literally be having a big burger in the fire, 11,000 feet. Elk bugling at night.
Are you a precursor to the Juicy Lucy in the cities?
I'm a hillbilly. I don't go to the city very often.
That's okay. They're like the famous food that when dignitaries come to town, they give them a Juicy Lucy. It's apparently specific to Minneapolis, St. Paul, but I feel like you pre-invented it.
I think we can cook pretty doggone good just out at the farm.
Yeah.
And then the
I
morel
agree.
mushrooms too. My kids like to just roll them in a little flour. This is the unhealthy version. I normally use part flour and then part like a pancake mix because then you get a better browning. You don't want to use too much pancake; it gets too brown. But flour is dark enough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then we switched all to coconut oil. I don't know if you guys have done that.
I don't cook at all, so I'm just learning from you.
Oh,
From
okay.
moment one to right now, I don't know that we've
Sure.
had any similar experiences,
Okay,
except at yoga. I've been to yoga.
sweet. That's
That-
awesome.
I was gonna say, I think we should make like a documentary where like Doc from Brooklyn
Yeah.
comes to
To Matt's farm, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey, watch out for that horse.
I have a good attitude with no skills.
Perfect. I'll tell you that horse.
Great.
That horse bites you.
That would
Stormy will
be
bite you
awesome.
And then you would need to come here.
to New York.
Documentary would have to go
Yeah.
both ways, right?
Oh, that'd be so. You'd see like the
It's-
guy like. I feel the way you would like in the middle of nowhere, as I would feel in a great big city.
That would just be excellent watching. Everybody would want to see it.
Yeah.
I would watch that show.
I'm pitching this to Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh.
that-
I almost wanted to do that alone show, but I think I'll take a different route.
Yeah, you have the skills. You could do that.
I'd have to miss my kids though for however
Mm.
long to take to win.
I'm going to start planning this the next time that Dawn tells me she's coming to Minnesota. I'm going to set up a filming.
An exchange.
Or just come hang out anyway. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Matt, thank you so much for letting us talk to you and pick your brain a little bit and be coming up with ideas of things that you can show Dawn when she comes to visit and can be part of the documentary.
Yeah, cool.
Yay. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, awesome. It was a nice chat with you girls.
Thank you for joining us for Created Creative.
We're so glad you could be with us today.
If you would like to talk more about living outside the box, living creatively, be sure and join our Patreon, and then you will find out the details of when we are going to gather and talk about how you can live more creatively.
I can't wait for that discussion and go create something.
Go create something.